License to Kill is proudly sponsored by Pest Patrol and Polaris Pest Group. Pest Patrol has been a long-standing supporter of the LTK community. Their continued commitment helps strengthen our mission, and we appreciate their support to keep our agents the best in the field. Polaris Pest Group is your ethical partner in growth. Looking to sell your business? Polaris is a values-driven private equity group dedicated to honoring your legacy and building upon your company's long-term aspirations. This episode is also supported by Swarm Pest Control Marketing. Swarm Pest Control Marketing is a digital marketing partner, and Swarm Mastermind helps leaders scale with confidence.
Hi, I'm Marcus, and welcome to the License to Kill podcast, where pest control professionals meet cutting-edge expertise, industry insights, and a whole lot of camaraderie. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your journey as a PMP, this podcast dives into everything that makes our industry tick. From advanced techniques and groundbreaking products to hilarious field stories and the real talk about the challenges we face in our industry. Join us as we explore the science, art, and community behind pest control, celebrating the people who work tirelessly to keep our world safe, healthy, and pest-free. As always, stay sharp, stay connected, stay legendary. Let's start the show.
Okay, hello everybody. This is Jorge Bedoya. I am today's speaker, and this is my guest, Christian Allen from Tailor Pest Control, Wildlife, and Insulation. So, welcome, Christian.
Thank you, man. How's it going?
I'm doing all right. Um,
That's
so
good, dude.
I've been a big fan of your work since the past few years. I've seen you keep up and grow and keep growing, and I see you're happily married and you have this fantastic company. um, so I've been meaning to do this interview for a while because just like
Yeah.
you are growing your company, um, and I would like to ask you, like, when did you join pest control, and what made you decide to open up your own pest control company, and why? I'm sorry, yeah, why you made your company and how long has it been since you opened it?
Yeah, sure. No problem, man. Great questions. So I've been doing pest control for the past 12 years. I started back in 2013. At first, there's just a job. So I was about 21, looking for just any kind of stable full-time work. I was bouncing back and forth between different temp agencies with Amazon and other warehouses and things of that nature. Just looking for a steady job for somebody that didn't have a college education and was willing to work. Lucky for me, my dad knew a guy from high school who was looking for a technician, offered me the job. So I took it, moved down from New Hampshire to Kentucky, and I worked for him for 8 years. There was another small mom and pop company, was doing great. And then just got to the point where he and I had two different visions for the company. It's his company, so whatever he wants, that's his decision. But for me, excuse me, I wanted to go elsewhere. I wanted to do bigger things, try to expand the company if we could. And so it was just kind of time for me to see if I could do it by myself. So about 4 years ago, in 21, gave him my 2 weeks, and pretty much just said, let's do it. Let's see what I can do. And so yeah, took the leap of faith. Been about 4 years now, and we're doing the best we can. So it's not all been, you know, sunshine and roses, but we're trying to make a dent here in the Louisville market and help as many people as we can.
So, for how long were you a solo operator?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I started kind of backwards than most people. I left the company I worked for in September, actually Labor Day week, and didn't have all the licenses and everything. So I started working for another company. I started working another full-time job, and I didn't get all the proper licenses and everything till about well, I had everything for Indiana, so we started in October, and then I got all my Kentucky licenses by November. And by November, we are fully operating. And I operated as a solopreneur till about July of the next year. So it took me about, let's see, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, about 9 months before I decided I need to hire somebody. And I went the route of office person first versus a technician. So I hired my first person. That was about July-ish of 2022. And that way I was able to get the phones answered and I could still be the face of the company going out doing the work while my office person at the time took care of the back end office stuff for me.
Okay, okay. That's shocking. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we started going pretty quick, man. Starting like in October, I started posting every day, about 4 times a day on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn,
and you were
Nextdoor, any
and you
place.
and you were doing that through, yeah, you were doing that through social media and everything. Um,
Yep, through
can you?
social media. And that kind of just helped me take off, man, by like, so I worked a full-time job till about, and the pest control till about March-ish. And then in March of 22, I told my guy, like, look, man, I love still work for you a little bit. I just can't commit full time. So he backed us down to part time, and then April of that year I went full time. So then April to July, I was a solopreneur by myself, working full time in it, and then sometime in July I hired an office person.
Okay, was the office person like in in Kentucky as well?
Yep. It was in office. So we set up a computer office space for her and all that good jazz.
And is the person still with you?
Unfortunately, not. She was with me for about 2 years, um, and a little over 2 years, and then we just kind of had to part ways. It wasn't working out with us, with her. There's still things that she missed, even after we went over things. So went a different direction, and we got somebody else now.
Okay, but but you still have now an office person that's handling that. I think that's a major thing for, solopreneurs, that they can really
Hmm.
grow because they have to do everything by themselves.
Yep,
Um,
correct.
so so you quit your company, and how many clients you had by the time you open up your own company? Can you talk about year one of the company?
Yeah. So I made it very clear that I was going to keep my doors open the best I can and not burn any bridges. So I had a 2 year non-solicit, but I had people reaching out to me to come over to with us, and I told them, hey, look, stay with them for now. And it was about a year and a half before, like, I'm like, and they kept asking me. I'm like, okay, fine, you guys can. So slowly, I started taking some of my old clients back. But I started from nothing, so I had no clients. I'm not from Kentucky, so I don't have any friends and family hardly to call on. So it was all everybody that signed up were new people. I got my first client in December. um, it's a one-time service, but he still calls us occasionally for things that he needs. Saw me on Facebook, and I mean, we did 1,000 that month, and it just kept growing. Then till now, we're about, I think, 1,050 reoccurring customers that we have.
Oh,
That
wow.
brings in about 550 thousand in annual reoccurring revenue.
And
So
how many techs do you have right now?
right now we have four. So we have one that's been with me for more than a year, and then we have three brand new technicians that one's been with me for almost 2 months now, and the other two about a month. So brand new technicians, but they're out doing regular GPC, regular services, things of that nature to help keep us afloat.
And can you talk to me about what's the regular pest control procedure in Kentucky, like a regular, household pest control? Because like I'm in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
and we deal with a lot of people, like with a lot of apartment buildings and
Yeah.
roaches, mice, and everything. But we are planning on expanding. So maybe expanding
Yep.
onto the suburban area, doing general, general services. So I see you go a lot with like the brushes and every like that's fascinating to me, um,
Yeah,
because I'll be out competing that market because my thing is ants and
yeah,
roaches and everything. So can you talk to me about that?
yeah,
Like, um, how's a regular service on that, and how much time does it take for a regular house?
yeah,
All of that.
yeah. Definitely love to go through that. We do some apartments, not many. It's a race to the bottom with apartment complexes here in Kentucky. So what our general pest services typically covers, like your normal stuff, ants, spiders, wasps, centipedes, things of that nature. We don't include rodents. Rodents is a separate service. And most of our services are outside only. So initially, we come in, we'll talk to the customer, have them show us where things are, what issues are they having currently. Then we do our own inspection inside and outside, and then we'll hit around the main areas inside, around baseboards, behind appliances, furniture, things of that nature, but primarily focusing our services on the outside, going around the foundation of the house, around the eaves, soffits, window frames, things of that nature. You're talking about the brushes. We do Webster knockdown webs. Helps with the helps with taking care of spiders, things of that nature, making sure the house looks clean and presentable. Where there's a lot of foliage or mulch beds, rock beds, things of that nature, we have grainers that we help spread out to help, you know, expand our exterior barrier around the outside of the home. And then we just maintain it on a quarterly basis. So we'll follow up with them in 2 weeks. My biggest thing is obviously they have to call us at first to become a customer, but after that, I don't want them to have to call us. And so we'll follow up with them in 2 weeks, make sure everything's looking good. If they're still having issues, we come back out and no additional cost. And then once we gain control, we'll maintain it on every 3 month basis for them. Um, Typically, initial services, depending on the size of the house, takes anywhere from about 45 minutes to an hour and a half ish, give or take, sometimes longer if it's a super big house with a lot of issues. Um, and then on a regular basis, we just do the outside, maintain that barrier for them. We'll knock on the door, check in with them, make sure everything's looking good. And then we'll do the same thing, about 3 passes around the house, knock webs down, treat around the exterior, put grainers out, um, and also make sure there's no other entry points too. So we do a lot of exclusion work,
And
where we
and
also
is
even seal
that
up homes for
is that is
insects.
yeah is that semi included on the quarterly thing, or if you identify
Yeah, the
that?
inspections are always Yeah, inspections are always included. As far as the exclusion service itself, that's a separate charge. Um, so that's not included, but we'll take pictures of things, send pictures to the customers. We even make little personalized videos to help point out about different things that we saw on our regular service. And, again, depending on size of the house, service takes anywhere from 15, 30 to 45 minutes on reoccurring stuff, depending on if there's any issues, size of the house. If you get these really small ranch style homes, doesn't take long, maybe 15 minutes. You get some of these bigger houses, you got to take the extension pulls out and things of that nature, and then it might take closer to 30 to 45 minutes. So,
Okay, okay. That's an interesting point you brought in there. Make the house presentable, right? Like,
yeah,
so in Kentucky, if you go into a house and it has some kind of spider webs in the outside, like people can assume like it's
yep.
poorly maintained. Like, oh, you poor. That's so
I
cool.
mean, it's all about presentation for us. I don't know if people necessarily think that,
Okay,
but
okay.
door knockers are becoming really big and prevalent around in our areas. And the first thing door knockers go after is if you have a lot of spider webs. Um, so we want to make sure that's taken care of. Um, to me, the houses look a lot better.
Are you?
To customers, I think they do. So,
Alright, I see like cobwebbers that have one side duster and the other side the actual brush. Are you using that
yep,
tool? Like you first
yeah,
press. Uh huh.
yeah, we have that attachment. We typically just have the Webster duster brush on it.
How do you
We
clean
do
it?
have a scraper attachment. Huh?
How do you clean it? Like if it's like a house full of webs and everything, how do you clean that
Yeah.
up?
Uh, any bushes or the grass, take your hand and brush it off really quick. You know, we it's not rocket science, so we'll try to brush it against grass, try to clean some of that webs off. or take your hands and start like a hair comb and pick off the webs, so you
Um,
don't spread them amongst houses and things of that nature.
what are sales strategies you are having right now? Because again, we're similar companies, but when it comes to
Hmm.
suburban or anything, like I have no strategy at the moment.
Yeah.
What is it
Okay.
that what is the strategy that you say, like I'm gonna go after this neighborhood and I have this CRM, like how do you keep growing? Because to have now four technicians, that means it's four
Yeah.
routes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I tell people, and I stole some of this from Seth Garber, but our ideal customers are people that don't have pests but don't want pests. Why is that? If they don't have pests, they're going to be pretty easy to take care of because there's not a lot of things going on, but they value our service, and that's why they pay for us because they don't want pests. And so typically the ideal customer that we're looking for, I'm looking for couples, typically anywhere from between 25 and 45, have a couple kids, have a couple pets, they own a house, um, and they live busy lives. They both work full-time jobs. They got kids in sports, kids in cheer, they got pets, and the last thing they want to do is come home on the weekends and spray their house or see a spider. And so that's where we come in. It's all outside. They don't have to be home, so they don't have to schedule something. If they have an issue, then we can schedule it at their leisure and get them taken care of that way. But that way, call it on file. They don't have to think about paying a bill. It's all
How
outside, so they
how
don't have to
how
be home for
how
it.
do you
Hmm.
get to those kind of people? Because that sounds like an ideal
So
customer.
yeah, our, it's all about going to where the people are. So for us, we're a smaller company. And for us, it's really been working is content marketing. So I don't pay Google a dime. I don't pay Facebook a dime. But what I do is I post a lot of stuff, a lot of content, and you
Where?
and other people have seen it. I post things that are engaging, some things that are funny, but a lot of informational stuff. Today we just posted about how to choose a pest control company. Obviously, I hope they choose us, but if they go down that list and it's not us for them and it's another company, so be it. But we give people advice on how to, um, choose a pest control company about bugs that we're experiencing now, critters that we're experiencing, and we post a lot of stuff. And the idea is, um, we want to be the subject matter experts in our area online. And so the way we do that is we tell Google all the information they want to hear, all the information Google wants and can devour. And the more information we feed Google, the higher we rank because
But where do
now
you
Google looks at
where
looks at us as an expert. And even though we might, I think we know a lot of things, but we might not be the most knowledgeable people around. But it's not about being the most knowledgeable. It's about being the most known. I tell people the biggest issue every small business faces is obscurity. Nobody knows who you are. So if you go out and, some people say it's obnoxious, but if you go out there and let people know, the biggest promoter of your company is going to be you. Um, and if you can't go out and promote your company, then nobody else will. So
damn, that's deep. That's freaking deep. Um, so where do you post so that Google recognizes the pattern?
yeah.
Like how do you do that?
So we update our website on a regular basis. But the other thing too is I go to Facebook post, LinkedIn, anywhere that gives me a platform, I will post to. So I even post to Angie, Yelp, Thumbtack. We pay a flat rate monthly fee for Angie and Yelp so that we have a platform on their website that takes away competitors' ads.
How
And then
how
Thumbtack, we pay per lead, but they allow you to post videos and pictures on their websites about things, that allows, that Google pulls from. And so the biggest thing I tell people is I don't know if anybody's watched Moneyball
I didn't
with
know any of
Brad Pitt,
that. I didn't
but
know any of that.
oh yeah, well you can. And so I post pictures on there. I post pictures on Nextdoor. Actually, I forgot to take a picture, but we just won the 2025 Nextdoor Award for the neighborhood favorite pest control company in
Oh
our
shit!
area.
Congratulations.
Again, and that's like our fourth year running. Appreciate it. Um, And but yeah, we post a TikTok. I saw somebody said they see us on TikTok. We post a YouTube. Obviously, YouTube's big because YouTube is a Google product, and Google is going to favor their products. The other thing too is you can post to your Google My Business page. You can post updates, and you can also post pictures on their website. And I do that at least once a week, posting new pictures, new updates. I mean, I don't care if I'm hiring somebody. I make AI pictures, pictures I take on the route, all that stuff. I update all that, and I give as much information as I can. It's like a information overload onto onto Google. So hopefully, if you Google pest control near us, we're going to rank pretty high. I think last time I checked, we were like fifth or something, um, because
After
we
the
post
paid,
so much information
yeah.
out there.
Do
Yeah,
you
after the paid stuff.
and are
We
you
don't
paying?
pay anything.
Oh,
So
but
no, we don't pay anything.
you are paying Yelp and Nextdoor, right?
Yeah, yeah. So what I was going back to with the Moneyball analogy, you have the Yankees. The Yankees are going to be the Orkins, the Terminexes, the big local companies in the area. They got the big marketing budgets. I don't. But what I can do is I can do things that nobody else wants to do. So I pay for Yelp. I pay for Angie. I pay for Thumbtack. Why? Because everybody's like, oh, these places suck. They give you bad leads, this and that. I really don't care if we so much as we convert, so much as when somebody Googles, they Google pest control near me, Yelp pulls up best pest control company in Louisville. People think it's an actual company, so then they click on it. Well, if it's my turn, then it clicks on me, and now they call us, and that just helps us, with paying. Yeah, it does help to convert, and we do work on converting them, but it's just about getting as much information out there to where Google sees us as an expert in the field that we're in.
So you have a unique perspective on that. Then are you measuring it month by month? Like, are you checking it out? Like, hey, this month, um, with Angie's List and Thumbtack and Yelp, we got this ROI.
Yeah, I haven't been as fervent on it recently. It's just been really hectic this year. We've had a lot of turnover. But I can tell you, typically we convert about 20 to 30% of our Yelp, Angie, Thumbtack leads. A lot of it has to do with us. We don't get back to it as quickly enough. So we've been really working on responding to them right away, get to
Can
them right away,
can
call
you
them.
can you tell me,
And the
Rodrigue?
more we do that, the more.
Can
Mhm,
you And what's the marketing budget for that? Let's say if a company like mine, like I'm a, like I don't know,
mhm.
300 and something K, wants to start doing something similar when it comes to
Yeah.
that, what's the regular budget for that? For those
I mean,
three?
if you're around 100,000 um, a year,
No, I'm not.
it
I'm
might
about,
not be the best.
no, I'm about
Or
three times
budget
that. Yeah, when it
three
no,
times that. Okay.
yeah, so 300K. When it comes to
Yeah.
that, how much
Um,
based on your
I
experience?
mean, when I was around to 100, maybe I did start around 100,000. So for Yelp, we're paying 180 a month, flat rate.
And
And then Angie,
what does that give you?
last year, on the money we spent with Yelp, um, don't remember our numbers very well. Um, let's see.
Not about the
No.
money, but what does
Hmm.
it do? Paying that, what does it give you? Like you say, it gives you the option to upload videos and pictures
Yeah.
and updates and all of that. So it's like a premium
Yeah.
version of Yelp.
Yeah. Yeah. We pay 180 for that a month. I don't know what exactly comes out to a year, but we're able to post pictures, videos, update. Essentially it's like a website on Yelp's platform that we have. So we have another
Can we
website on Yelp. We have a
can we
website on Thumbtack
can we see
and
it?
Angie.
Wait, I'm gonna
Yeah.
how should I look it
Sure. You
up
could
On Yelp?
just look up tailor-made pest control Yelp probably. Let me
Okay,
see.
Tailor made pest control gel. Okay, Tailor made pest control updated. Da, 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 da.
Yep, updated November 25th, 158 videos or pictures, um, 11 reviews.
Okay, okay, da, da, da. And so because you pay that, what I, so it gives you the chance to put up videos, put up pictures, but what
Yep.
else? Like,
hmm
do you appear more to customers on Yelp or
Yeah, so we do get some leads. Typically, we're averaging around 30 to 50 leads a month minimum,
how many?
and 30 to 50.
Holy freaking heck! That's a lot of leads.
Yeah, yeah, we get decent amount. Let me look at where we were
I
last
mean,
last last month.
but again, is because your company is highly optimized now, right? So, and how do you
Yeah, a lot of
know
it is
how
we keep updating that. hmm
how do you know it's from Yelp?
We ask.
Okay,
Now with Yelp, it does go in our CR, it does integrate with our CRM, and so it goes in our sales platform, and we can see it's from Yelp. And if we call them, then we obviously know it's Yelp. We might get more in Yelp. The problem is there's also like a call to action button on our Yelp page, and if they don't submit like a Yelp form, then we don't necessarily know. And what happens is I think we credit a lot of things to Google, but the problem is they click on a Yelp ad, go to it, then click on call now, and then you call us. And then you ask them, hey, how'd you hear about us? And they're like, oh, we Googled you. So I think we get more on Yelp than what we give Yelp credit to,
okay.
but we still get so here we go. I don't know if you guys can see it. Um, so we had
Oh,
79 visits and then 50 leads last 30 days. I don't know if you can see it. Not real
so
clear.
leads
Um,
meaning there was some kind of action taken from the page.
yeah, so they submitted a form on Yelp for us to call them.
Now, what about the other two, Angie's List and Thumbtack?
Thumbtack we pay per lead. I had turned that off for a while. So we hadn't got a lot from Thumbtack because we had some staffing issues. And I had to pay per lead for that. ENG, we get at least 20 to 30 leads from Angie, maybe more.
And you say the conversion
But
rate is about what on Angie's List?
it's about 20%.
Okay, because if I get a call from Google,
hmm
I close that up about 95% of the times, maybe more.
Yep. Oh, but how
So
much you pay for that lead?
I'm not paying shit. I have no marketing.
Not paying shit. Okay.
I'm not. I have nothing. So like all you're saying is like if I were to get that, like man, like
hmm
I'll be able to put my company at least 200K more easy if I had that sort of
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do things a little bit differently. With us, like I said, it all comes back to the premise of what's everybody's biggest issue. Everybody's biggest issue is obscurity. Nobody knows who you are. And so I um I fight that. I combat that by massive action. The where I got that strategy from was from Grant Cardone. He
But
has
who's
a 10x book.
and who's that?
Um, Grant Cardone, he's this like real estate mogul that is now big into marketing. He's got a book out, a really good book out. It's been out for a while, like 15 years, I think, but it's 10x rule. And essentially what 10x rule is, it's about taking your goal and multiplying it by 10. So if you think it's going to take you, a year to or like and taking every action and multiplying by 10. So if you say, hey, I need to post once a day, we need to 10x it. And probably post, 10 times a day would be ridiculous. But post 3 times a day, post 4 times a day, instead of once a week, maybe 3, 4, or 5 times a week. And just essentially taking every effort that you do and multiplying it by 10. If you think it's going to take $100 um, to market, then you're probably going to spend around $1,000. It's about 10xing, multiplying everything by 10 to get to get you where you want to be. And so it's 10 times the effort. 10 times, um, 10 times the action. It's about just being obsessed with whatever you're trying to do to
which is
to get
which,
you where you want to
yeah,
be.
which is growing your company.
Yep.
Shit,
I tell
cause
people, I'm an obsessive person. If you call me, you know, if you call me now and I don't get to you and I don't see it till like 11 o'clock, I'm calling you back. Even if it's 11 o'clock, people are like, why are you calling me at 11? I'm like, dude, you called me like an hour ago. I'm calling you back. I want to make sure you're pest free, bro. It's the same thing. Like, if I wake up at 4 a.m. I quit a lot, but I'll text people. If I see somebody called or texted me at 12 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake at 4. I'm gonna text them back, hey, saw you reached out. How can I help you? Let's get you scheduled today. About it's about that obsessive personality. Everybody says, oh, you need to quit being so obsessed. You need to quit, you know, you need to tone it down some. You know, the best salespeople in the world are kids. They want that toy. They're going to sell you on getting that toy or sell you on getting that ice cream. And we try to tell kids, hey, tone it down some. When in fact we need to take that same energy that they have and put it towards our business, put it towards our craft. And if we do that, I mean, you're just going to explode.
what is the best selling service you have so far?
Our best selling right now is probably rodents. I think that goes back to all of the work we did promoting the bell sensing stuff when we first started. I mean, we kill it on rodents, man. We've lowered our prices a little bit, try to become a little bit more competitive, but we've this year we've sold tons of rodent jobs, a lot of rodent jobs. I mean, we started at 600 initially, and then we charge $60 a month. Come out every 3 months, comes out to about 180 a service, and that's just rodents. That's no bugs, no nothing else. It's checking rodent base stations, applying a rodent repellent around the house, and that's all it covers.
Rodent
It's
rodent
just
re-
rodents.
rodent repellents, like Propel.
Yep. We don't use Propel, we use Natureside. So um, Natureside's got a good repellent product that we use.
Which one do you use? The liquid, general pest
Yeah, we got
entry.
the yeah we got the liquid, and we also got the granulars. So,
Okay.
and the great thing is it kills some bugs too. So, if they don't want to pay the extra for pest control, I tell them it will help a little bit kill, repel spiders and stuff. Um, so yeah,
Okay, that's
and it doesn't
interesting.
smell as bad as Propel. Propel is pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I learned today that rotten broccolis smell like dead mice.
Okay,
And
interesting.
and they do. I got to smell it firsthand, and it does horribly. Um,
Huh.
one tip you didn't know. Shit. Okay. So you say most of your services have been targeted to the outside. Like we're gonna do, we're gonna do, dewebbing, and we're gonna do spraying
Hmm.
for when you spray on the outside.
Hmm.
Is it
Yeah.
is it for the rodent thing? Like, hey, I'm dewebbing and I'm spraying for the rodents, or you are mostly doing the combination of dewebbing and spraying something like Thermidor every 3 months? How do you manage that?
Depends on depends on what service you got. If you have general pest, then we'll spray. Typically, we use Transport Micron around the exterior of the house, and that'll last you 3 months. If it's rodents, then we're checking rodent base stations. We're pulling the data from the IQ trays, and then we're applying the rodent repellent. It's not going to probably last you 3 months, but it gives the customer peace of mind that, hey, we applied some sort of repellent out to help keep things away. But our main bread and butter on the rodent services are the exterior rodent base stations helping keep that population down. So
How much is a single rodent IQ?
it doubles the cost of the station. So essentially, if you buy a rodent station for, like 18, $20, I think one tray is about 19 or $20.
And it
So instead
and
of
it
a
it let
$20 station,
and it lets you know like how many times a rodent visited the area.
Yep. Yeah. So it counts how many times it's been visited and when. So it gives you a timestamp and then also gives you a count on how many times it's been visited. And so it's really cool um, getting to see like the activity. So, we know rodents are nocturnal, but now we get to really show people they're nocturnal because, oh yeah, you might have a hit or two there during the day, but you really start seeing all the hits starting like at 9 o'clock. And, we'll go till about 6 a.m. And like, oh wow, they are nocturnal. Yes. Now we get to prove them that, they're
Okay,
nocturnal. And we can also prove
I
and
totally will.
show how many times they've been visited.
Does the thing, the data connects to the does it connect to the CRM you have?
It doesn't with field routes. It does with Pest Pack. We've been working with Bell to get them to do field routes. They haven't yet, but it's okay. Eventually, I hope it will. But it's just another app. The app's free. You download it. You add the people in there. You add your accounts into it. Um, but it helps save accounts. Like we just had like a month ago, somebody emailed in, "Hey, we want to cancel services." We always ask, "Hey, why are we looking to cancel services?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you know." we haven't really seen any mice. So we think we got everything and we're good to go. And so I pull up their data. I'm like, oh, well, look, it showed this last service that you had 200 and something visits. Time before that, you had like 500. Like, are we sure we want to, like, it's gone down? Yes, but you're not seeing rodents. You're not seeing mice because the base stations are taking care of them on the outside. And so she's like, "Oh, well, can I see the data?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, you should be getting them in an email, but let me send you this year's worth services." And so we sent her all the data from this entire year. We got to show her that she had like no activity through April, and then after April services, the amount of activity went up and then started to go down as we got into fall. And she's like, "Oh, wow, well, let's keep services on." So she got saved because of the data, and we also use it on our one-time services. We do pick up our stuff more if they don't want to continue stuff, but that data has shown, hey, you want to cancel because you haven't seen any more mice, but look at how much activity you've had the last couple of weeks that we've done services for you.
And and
If you keep the service on,
how does it
um,
work? Like you walk around the house and it
yep,
immediately starts to pick up the information. And how much does the battery
yeah.
last? Like do you have to change the battery every so often or what?
Unfortunately, you can't change the battery. You just have to replace the tray. It kind of depends on the activity level. I've had trays last about 2 years, and I've seen trays last about 9 to 12 months. But those 9 to 12 months, like they've had a lot of activity on their trays, so it wore the battery down. So it lasts at least a year. Really good chances to maybe 3 years if you're not seeing that much activity on there. Um, how it works is you pull up the app. And then once you get around 4 to 6 feet of it, it will pop up like a highlighted color of that station. Red means a lot of activity, yellow means moderate activity, green means no activity, you're good to go. If you see the yellow or red, you definitely want to check the station. So once you get within like 4 feet of it, then this becomes a solid color. That's when you can click on it. It'll load all the data up, and then it'll tell you all that data that you have, and you can update what baits you use and all that good jazz.
So what
Um,
about regular
so it's
insects and other living creatures like slugs? What if slugs go there and eat the bait? Uh, does it report to you that the bait may be gone?
it doesn't. So it's Bluetooth enabled, so we don't get cellular pings off it. Um, there's no like cameras or anything to
No,
see
no.
what goes in
What I
there,
mean is,
but typically,
if you're walking around, right,
yeah.
and it is like, hey, no activity whatsoever, but slugs have gone there and eaten the bait, but it tells you there is no activity. Does it also take in count? Like, does it trigger? Um,
Yeah, so we've had that's a good question. Um, Bell says that other critters don't um, ping it off, but I've seen if you get some pretty gnarly sized slugs, it's gonna trigger it's going to trigger a hit. And so very rarely do you go around and get stations that have zero hits because you have crickets that go in and jump all over it.
So so it
And then you
so
have rodents that come and visit.
so
So,
it does get activated by that kind of setting.
mhm,
Okay, okay, good.
yeah.
Yeah, because
There's
you're one of
very rare few times when we've had like green and then we just check it anyways that there's no bait. So it's pretty accurate that if there's any activity there that could potentially be eating the bait. Now the only thing that might not is ants. So we have it set to where if we don't check it in 6 months, we're going to check it. So that essentially on our quarterly service, if we haven't checked it in 6 months, so last service we didn't check it, we're going to check it this month just in case. We want to make sure we don't go without any bait in the bait stations. So
okay, okay. What else? What else? What made you go into wildlife? Because I'm seeing that trend.
people that call, man, uh, it took me 3 months before I got my first service. But if I'd done wildlife from start, man, I would have had my first call like within a week. Um, So it was all the calls I was turning away for wildlife stuff, man. It just got too crazy. I was giving people too much stuff. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get some of this dough too. Let me go ahead and start learning how to do wildlife.
So and
So it's just
once you added wildlife, because one thing is them calling
mhm,
you, see if you also do wildlife, but once you have
yeah,
added the wildlife thing on your website and services, how's it
yeah.
been? Because like me, I've gotten like maybe three wildlife calls on the past year, and then I give it out. But what kind of difference you saw now that you posted those services on your thing?
Yeah, so wildlife makes up about 25% of our business, which is a decent spread, but we haven't really been intentional to it. This year we have been intentional to it. I just haven't been able to keep anybody to do wildlife. It's a really hard um, thing to hire for. But we don't necessarily, we get a ton of calls for wildlife and we get a ton of referrals from other pest control companies that don't do wildlife that send people our way. So we get a ton of leads for it. The only issue is, you know, we're not cheap. We've gotten really good at what we do. We bend metal. We set the pods. We set traps to catch them coming in or coming out. And so we're very specialized. Even though
Also,
wildlife is
so
specialized,
you're doing
we're
like
even more specialized in the industry.
you're doing like the cameras and the 24
Yep.
24/7 cameras and all that. That's cool.
Yep. Yeah, we put cameras on the traps. We put the traps over the entry
When
points so we can catch them coming in and coming
so
out without putting bait in the traps. And then we do the whole house exclusion work. I tell people we're not an ambulance chasers. What I mean by ambulance chasers is we don't fix this hole and then this hole and then this hole and then this hole. Like last year, I guess we had a break in our process. Somebody called us out for dead squirrels in their house. We moved the squirrels. I don't know what happened. We didn't seal up any holes. I guess the customer just said they didn't want them done. Well, now they called this year like, hey, we got dead squirrels again. I'm like, no shit. Like we didn't seal up anything. So this year we're going to push them. Hey, we're going to remove these squirrels, but also you got to get these holes sealed up, dude.
are you
Otherwise,
doing
it's going to be a next year thing. So
any sort of finance? Because if you tell me you are charging good, are you doing any
yeah,
sort of financing through the
yeah.
CRMs?
We don't finance, but we do have a company that
Yeah,
offers
yeah, like
financing.
like a
So,
Stripe or anything like that. That it
yeah,
was
so we have a hearth that we pay for, and people we pay for the extra option to have um, 0% interest if within 12 months if you qualify for it. So we've had a couple people take it, especially with the installation jobs that get super expensive. But I mean, our normal jobs, we don't hardly touch anything wildlife if it's under $1,000. So everything we do is essentially $1,000 or more, and most houses are around 2 grand. And that's taking care of raccoons, squirrels, because we're going up on ladders, we're sealing up all the home, we're going around the entire house, make sure that they're fully protected versus just sealing up a crawl space vent here or
and
a gable vent or taking care of the animal. We don't do like that patchwork type stuff. We want to make sure that when after we're done, they're not going to have an issue unless something drastic happens.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I have a couple people commenting here for you. Right. So let's
Okay,
check the
sweet.
comments. Um, One guy says, "I've seen you on TikTok," and he's like 19 years old, so he's not Gen
Okay,
Z. Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So he's in. Chris from Sasquatch says, "Yo, Christian, you finally made it."
Love Chris, man. He's an awesome dude.
He is. He is. And then I have another question. It says, "What
Okay.
have been some things that you have tried that seem to go against the current that you feel really work, like it really worked well? Like, and do you have anything that has backfired or hasn't worked? Like, for example, I'm giving you an example. Maria Sorrentino, she bought, I don't know
Yep.
if she hired two people before she even started in pest control. And people will be
Yep.
like, oh shit, that's crazy. Um, do you have
Hmm.
anything like that? Like, everybody said, like, oh no, don't do that. But hell, it actually worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah, so we do a ton of things differently. I get a lot of grief because I am, I guess, such a big out of the box thinker. The biggest one has been body cameras. Um, we
I,
wear body
I,
cameras on all services,
I saw that shit.
and
That,
people
that's one thing
people
that caught
hate,
my eye.
people give me a lot of hate, but I mean, it works well. And uh, we've had, our complaints have stopped on services because people finally realize that, we wear them, we do watch them. And it's helped. Like we had one lady complain that not all of our base stations, termite base stations were checked. We checked them. We checked the body camera. She was right. So we went back out. We fixed it. There's been times when, you customers even calling on me. I had one time somebody said I didn't do something. My office manager called me. They're like, "Yo, somebody said you didn't do this." I'm like, "Oh, I did. Like, what happened?" Like, "Oh, well, I see your notes. It said you did, but they say you didn't." I'm like, "All right, did you check the body camera footage?" No, it's you. I'm like, "It don't matter. Check them." So they checked the body camera footage. Oh yeah, you told the truth. I'm like, "Well, take a screenshot of it, send the video to them, let the customer see it." The customer, squash that. So it does help with that. With a he said, she says, it cuts all that out. Um, and it also helps with training. I can go back through on reservices and see what somebody may or may not have done, and then be able to tell them, hey, I noticed while you're doing this service, um, you didn't do this. Let's try to do this now so that can help
And
prevent callbacks in the future.
how does
So
that work? Do you tell the person on advance, hey, just in case we are recording you, or you're not? Like most in most cases.
so we send
Hmm.
Yeah, so we have people sign service agreements before we even go out there. And it's in our service agreements. It doesn't necessarily say body cameras, but it does say, hey, by signing this, you agree that to be recorded visually and audibly for training and marketing purposes. Because I'll use some footage, we all do it. We take pictures of something cool and exciting and we take it and then we post it on Facebook. Well, if we didn't get permission from the homeowner and they find out, most times it doesn't go bad, but it could. So we cover ourselves if we take pictures of us doing the work, but then also too, it's there for the body camera specifically, and I mean it's pretty visible. I mean it's this big thing that's on your chest. It's got a red light going, and then it beeps like every 5 minutes. So you cannot know you're not being recorded. It's pretty out there and visible. We've had a few people, like I can count on one hand. I think there's been about three people that's having an issue with body cameras, and they're not customers with us. I get it, um, but three people out of how many people we've seen this year. So it's not that big of a deal. Some people ask. It is a good conversation starter. Like, hey, what's that thing on your chest? Oh, it's a body camera. Oh, really? And then you go through it and oh, okay, that makes complete sense. And I've had females work for me. I have another female technician working for me. I tell everybody when we hire them, hey, we do wear body cameras. Get it if it's a deal breaker. But my female techs are super receptive of it. They're like, oh yeah, that makes us feel actually safer because we're going in homes.
And
Now we have something
does
there that
it
kind of protects us.
does it send back like to some kind of cloud?
Yep, it's cellular. Yep. So I can see live going on now, but then once they're done recording, it puts it all in the cloud, and it only holds it for 90 days. But that's pretty decent enough.
How much
If you
is
call me back and like,
yeah, how much is
mhm.
that? Is it like super expensive?
So it's somewhat expensive. I think we have 6 cameras and we pay like 300 a month, something like that. So
For but they give you the hardware or
yep. So it's kind of like they kind of lease out the equipment. We don't pay anything up front. We just pay them yearly, and then we have issues. So we've had a couple cameras that have
how
issues.
how
We
many
tell them, hey, we're having
how,
this issue with the camera. They send us a new one. We send the old one back.
okay. Oh, that's cool. It's like the neurophone. You know the neurophone? The
Yeah.
ones that
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Um what else? Do you activate it when when you get to the job or
Yeah. So,
uh-huh.
oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, so we our protocol is as soon as you pull up in the driveway, double tap it, that turns it on. So we can record all the interactions with the customer. When you get back in your car after putting up your B&G, your backpack sprayer, go in the car, press it, hold it for 2 seconds, then it turns it off. So we just record the services. We don't record like the whole your whole life on the route. Doesn't have batteries for that.
Okay. All right. So you say that one may last for how long? Like one single charge can last for.
They say about 16 hours. But if it records continuously, I mean, it's probably closer to like 8 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
So, no.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So you're very optimized then when it comes to quality and when it comes to services. That's an interesting thing,
Yep.
right? I mean, I don't think it's gonna be sustainable when you are 20 techs because I see you one day to be that big. Um, what else? What else? I see now you're also doing insulation. What made you go into that?
Yep. Somebody called about it, and I'm like, sure, why not? We'll do it. And then somebody called, reached out to me about some machines that they had that didn't want to do it anymore, and so I'm like, sure, I'll buy it. So we got the full setup. We got a 16-foot trailer. We got a blowing machine and a vacuum. And we haven't done a lot this year. We really want to do more. It's a hard sell.
I mean, you just
And with
open it
turnover.
up because I just saw that it's brand new.
Well, the Facebook side. So that's a new thing that we're looking to do. But we've been offering installation since end of last year. We bought all the machines. Actually, in January, we bought all the machines. So we've been doing it all this year. But I opened up a DBA for just the installation to kind of market because when you're looking for insulation, you don't call a pest control company. Nobody calls a pest control company for insulation. You call an insulation company.
Yeah.
So I opened up a DBA for tailor-made insulation to try to help bring in more jobs, actual jobs for insulation, because the insulation becomes like an add-on service that we do for our wildlife service. Hey, we removed this raccoon, now we remove this poop, let's blow out a new insulation. So that's what we've been doing. Now we're trying to be more intentional on getting people that might actually just want insulation.
Okay.
So
Because you have all your customers on the database, you
yeah.
just go do a marketing campaign and it.
Yep, we send them emails, text messages frequently about, hey, we offer insulation. It's getting colder.
Do
Um,
you do
make your
you
house more energy efficient.
have you ever done like consulting for companies?
Have I consulted? No, not officially. I have friends and people that have reached out about, hey, I'm looking to start a company. So I'll talk to them. But again, like I'm learning all this stuff too. So what do I know? I've only been doing it 4 years,
Well, listen,
and
I
so
mean, to be 4 years in the business and be already 500K and something, that's something to be proud of. Like, you're rocking it, in my opinion. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. We're trying to hit that millie this year. So we'll see
Oh,
if we get there.
oh shit. Like, going from 500K to a million in 1 year, you're bold.
Well, no, well. Well, kind of. So like last year we were at 650. We
Okay.
have 550 in annual recurring revenue. That's like the recurring stuff. But total this year we're looking to hit 1 million. We did buy a company last year,
Which company?
so that's going to help
Uh,
boost us.
what did you?
Actually, the company I used to work for, so SWAT Team
Oh
Pest Control.
oh shit!
Yeah.
That's the biggest flex in the world. So in so
Heck
now
yeah,
you
man.
now so now you could access to like 100% of the past customers.
Yep, yeah, and that's what we've been doing. It helped boost us on the annual values. So when we last year before we bought the company, we were around 250, 275 in annual recurring revenue, even though we hit 650 total. It essentially boosts us up to about 500,000, and we got an extra 50,000 this year in annual recurring revenue that we um, that we get every year, no matter what.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's pretty bold to also start doing high value um, services like installation and wildlife, all of that that brings in the big
yeah.
bucks. Um, you know, you're gonna find a lot of people. Oh, that's too expensive. Oh, I don't wanna do it. So, it's good for you. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
no,
can.
I mean it's yeah, there's a lot of people that say no. I get it's not for everybody, but there are cases where insurance companies can help pay for some, if not all of it. So we
Oh,
had two
really?
cases last year. Insurance company helped pay some of the costs. One was a bad job. Well, both of them were bad jobs. So we've had bats infest an attic. They contacted their insurance company. It helped fund. They helped get some money back from that, from getting their installation replaced. So there are some insurance companies that help pay for it. Just ask your insurance company.
And it, and
Um,
and
so.
it's a wait. So some insurances cover
Mhm,
some specific pest control cases besides bats.
mhm.
What else does the house insurance cover?
I've seen for raccoons, if raccoons get in, so I've seen some cases where raccoons get in. That's mainly the two big ones, raccoons and bats, is the only things I've seen insurance companies actually help with. Haven't seen them help with termites, or anything else, but raccoons because they cause damage to the house, and bats.
Okay, okay. So if and you know, if you get ever to a database of houses around you that have a specific insurance, then you can just start knocking on the door. Hey, you know, like, did you know that your house is insured against raccoons? So if you ever see anything or anything, you know, give me a call. We'll take care of it, and rest assured that it gets covered. Like you don't have to pay anything. You already are paying for that.
Hmm.
All right, that.
Yeah, so yeah, there's some out there. I don't know the exact which ones that cover it. But we let all the insurance all of our customers know, hey, this could potentially be covered by insurance.
Okay.
And we'll let them see. But um, installation in itself, you can get rebates from your utilities companies, some of them. LG&E here locally has like a rebate program if you get new installation every couple years, or every like 10 or something years, I think it is.
Okay.
Um, so they give you a rebate on that
Okay.
as well.
That's good. Question about your CRM. Why
Yeah.
why are you using field routes out of all the options you get out there? Like, I don't know, Pest Pack, Fieldwork, Gorilla Desk, all of that.
Yeah, so the previous company I had Brio staff, absolutely hated it. Um, Hated everything about it. I still hate it. I have Brio staff because it came from, when we bought the company, we keep up their license to help make sure we can transition everything over. Absolutely hate the program. Um, but I knew I wanted to grow. So when I started this company, I knew I had big goals, big ambitions. I want to be a big company. And so I kind of looked for what were the main bread and butter, um, pest softwares out there that could grow with me. So I looked at Gorilla Desk. I love Chris. I love the Moreshis. They're great people. They got great software too. Um, just, didn't like the feel with it. Just a personal preference. Nothing against them, nothing against the software. But field routes, I mean, it looks clean, it runs smooth, it integrates with a lot of things. And I could see it growing with us. We don't pay per user. We pay like, for packages based off of how many active customers we have. And so with Gorilla Desk, it can get really expensive if you hire a part-time person or a part-time person and a full-time person. You have to pay per user versus field routes, it's up to 2,000 customers. So we haven't even hit that yet. We're still on the first tier,
And
um,
how much is
paying
that?
that we're paying for field routes, because we haven't surpassed that 2,000 customers. And so that's how I chose it. It was more expensive up front as a startup company, but now I think it's cheaper than what I'd probably pay somewhere else.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And when it comes to sales through the platform, um, how do you manage that? Like, do you feel like field routes is the best thing for growing when it comes to sales, or have you considered anything else like Jover that specializes on scaling companies?
My buddy uses Jobber, in a different industry, so I have access to Jobber. Um, every software it has a good and bad. Field routes is my customer CRM. It's there to once you become a customer, that's where you live is in field routes. You got the customer portal. We can schedule you. All the stuff is in field routes. Now, this is where it's really cool. Chris Mareshi and Gorilla Desk has really upgraded their CRM. But we use a Go high level platform. We use a white label version of it through Pest AI with Anthony Hoshino. It's been really great. So that's our sales CRM. So before you
Well,
become a customer,
wait, wait, wait,
when
wait,
you're
wait, wait, wait.
when
Wait.
you're a prospect,
Wait,
yeah.
so that you're hitting something cool. So I just want to hear it again. Um,
Yeah.
you say that your new sales CRM, besides the one you use for operation, is something called Pest
Hmm.
AI.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and what is that? How does that work?
Pest AI is great, man. It's a it's a huge. It's got a lot of things in it that it does. But essentially, it's your sales CRM. So before they're a client, when they're a prospect, it's kind of like the dating phase of the customer when you're trying to get them in. That's where Pest AI comes in handy. So when you call, ring, ring, hey, we want services, we start you in Pest AI. And what Pest AI does, it helps you get to see the journey from them being a prospect to a customer. So it has pipelines where we can see they're a new customer, then they maybe going to have to talk to their husband or wife, so their estimate pending, or we need to follow up with them, and then hopefully they become a customer. So there's a whole pipeline that helps your follow up process, and it automatically follows up for you.
Like
So we're very
it
aggressive.
calls people by itself.
It doesn't call people right now, but it will text them and it will email them. And then it gives you a task to call them. So we manually still call people. But once a day, we will text them, then we'll email them, and then we'll make a call for us to call them and then start all over again. So it sends automated texts and emails. Say, hey, you know, we gave you a quote the other day. Did you have any questions? Or did you still need help with it? So every day is a different follow up, whether it's text, email, or call. And if it's a call, then we pick up the phone. But it has this power dialer list to where it creates a list of people that we need to call, and then we click a button and it auto dials it for you. So we don't have to dial that phone number. It just automatically brings up the customer card and starts calling them. And then they get an answer, we talk to them, or we get a voicemail, hang up, and yeah, 30 seconds, and they'll auto dial the next person. So it helps speed up the calling process because you're not having to physically dial a number, call them, hang up, dial a number again. It does all that for you. The other cool thing it does, so we just started doing email campaigns through them. So we got an email campaign set up every day this week to try to help draw in existing customers on reset on upsells, or people that weren't customers to use our services. So you can do mass email campaigns through Pest AI. You can also it also can be a social media manager. So it also helps posting all that stuff through all the platforms just in one place. It helps respond to reviews. So like when people give us a Google review, in like 5 minutes, it'll give an automated response to that five star Google
Now,
review or 1 star.
does it after the service? Does it send
Hmm.
automated review? You know,
Yeah. So it can. We don't have it set up because we use Applause. Applause has been really good for for our technicians. It allows people to tip them, and it also allows me to give them a bonus based off of each Google review automatically that they
now,
get.
now,
So Pest AI can do it. We just don't use that feature.
okay, because a lot of people are saying about applause. Oh, it's like begging for reviews. Like we don't like begging people, but you use it a lot. So what's your perspective? Like the bold perspective.
I mean, I'm again, everything I do is off the wall, off the chain. Again, yeah, it might come out to be begging, but you know what? Like my dad always said, closed mouths don't get fed. You don't get reviews if you don't ask for them. Technicians can't get tipped if you don't ask for it. So
Oh yeah, because
we ask.
yeah, I heard that. Oh, the service industry. Oh, like we
Yeah.
hate to be, like everywhere we go, tip, tip, tip.
You don't have to leave a review. So, we have a setup to where, hey, would you like to tip your technician? And it'll be like $0. That's the first one, $0. So you do not have to tip your technician. And then we have like a $5 option and $10 option, or you have a custom tip as much as you want. I mean, I had somebody tip our technician $100, and they paid for the bank fee. So they paid like $115 to give one of my technicians a tip.
Holy
Um,
fuck. Holy fuck.
so, it's, people say there's this tipping, um, what is it called? Like tiredness or I can't, fatigue, tipping fatigue. And we've had a few complaints about it. And honestly, again, I can probably count on one hand how many people have complained about it. There is an option to where they can unsubscribe from the texts and emails. So if they don't want to hear it, they don't have to. We can take them off the list. But I mean, dude, I have people making an extra 50 to $100 a month minimum, um, just on tips and Google reviews. I give $5 for every 5 star Google review they get. And I don't have to track, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is make sure there's money in the bank. They auto draw it from my account, and my technicians are happy. They're excited. Any new technicians we get, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Christian, we got $5 from somebody." Like, cool. Go buy yourself a drink or a McFlurry. I don't care what you do with it. They can cash it out, like Cash App. I got a guy. He he uses it for like his allowance or whatnot. He's excited because he gets to get that money, and then he goes buy, whatever
Now,
tool
now,
or game he wanted.
based on what I'm seeing in here, um, based on what I'm seeing in here, and holy fuck, uh, you have a solid system in here. Like you are like looking at Orkin from my
Yep.
from my perspective, like tailor my pest control. About like it's big. Like what the hell? What are you doing? How do you accomplish this to be seen on Google?
Yep. I mean, that's how, man. I just compare ourselves to some of the competitors around town. You have Black Diamond, they got like 3,500 reviews or something, so we don't even touch them. But you have OPC that's been around for years and years and years. They have like 450 reviews, and we have like 430. So we're like right at their tail. There's another company, Bright Pest Control, that's been around forever. I think they got like 100 reviews, and we got 400 or something. So we got over 400 reviews in 4 years. So essentially, we're averaging like 100 reviews a year. Um, but we ask, so we're very intentional. We've been
Yeah.
using Applause now for
I mean,
over a year, I think
if
like a
you
year and a half.
yeah, if you have over you say 1,000 recurring customers every year,
Yep. Hmm.
okay, so it's not hard. Like as long as you keep asking, eventually they'll do it.
Yeah,
Um,
eventually they do it. And we ask for other platforms too, not just Google. So Facebook, Better Business Bureau,
yeah, I see.
Angie,
I
Yelp. I want the reviews everywhere, not just on Google. So
yeah. No, I'm seeing all of this. This is cool. Um, okay, okay. Da, da, da. Yeah, I mean, I see you have a whole page, like a whole page on Google, which is hard. So you have this. You even have the PCT magazine um, article.
yep.
Yeah, I mean you're famous in here. Um, now I
Not
see
about
you.
being famous, man. About being well known.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well known. Um, well, let me stop streaming. Now I see you are. Are you married?
I am. Yep. Been married. Oh God, 6 years. So
How does it work with that with your company? Like, is your wife like any sort of S if SFO anything like that? Like, do you have like a
she's the
team,
chief. She's the chief. What is it?
financial?
Uh, moral support. She's moral
What
support for
what
me.
is
She don't want anything to do with the business. She's got her own thing going. She's a strong, independent woman. So she does her thing, and she's the rock, the foundation of of Tailor Made because she's the moral support for me when I get down and depressed. She's there to tell me to get my ass back up and get to work. So
Yeah, I mean, as long as you come home, to a happy house and everything, hell,
yeah,
women, we do anything.
yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
shit. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Now you have four technicians, three of them are new. How are you
Yep.
managing to do the wildlife and the insulation and the termites and all the diversified portfolio you're doing with three new technicians that I'm sure like they need to be trained on every specific thing to to achieve the quality you want because you have minimum standards. How are you managing
Yep.
that?
So I do most all the wildlife stuff. I got somebody I'm training specifically for wildlife. So I go out and do some of those jobs. I got another guy that can do it too. So between me and my senior tech, we take care of those big stuff. And then as we have time, take some of the new guys with us to do it. But we also do a lot of training on the fly. So we might send them out for an assessment on like something for wildlife, and I'll have them call me. I provide AirPods for everybody. So I can essentially kind of like spy movies and stuff, man. They'll be going through an attic telling me what they see, and I'll just be like in the air telling them the play by play on how to take care of stuff. Um, and so
Okay, and
there's a lot of on the fly stuff.
are you planning on incorporating the new AI glasses to your text so they can video call you and you see everything they see?
Maybe, but technicians don't like taking care of stuff, so we'll see about that.
Okay,
FaceTime works just fine with the phone.
okay. um, so you talk about Pest AI and you
Yeah,
talk about Applause. A question
yep,
here is there any other tool that you use? So you have three main things, right? Like based on I mean, a lot of stuff you have. So you're having Yelp. I mean, for posting and everything, you have Yelp, you have Angie's List, and you have Thumbtack, right? So that's for like
yeah,
posting and some kind of leads. Then
hmm
you have field routes, and that's the regular CRM, la la la.
yep,
And then you have Pest AI for people that call. Like if I call right now, is the
hmm
Pest AI thing gonna answer?
yep, You'll get
Okay,
Taylor.
okay. And what else? And then you have. a plus. Is there any other AI tool you're using at the moment?
Yeah, so I have this other AI for my emails that helps organize all my stuff. Also helps auto reply or like draft emails for me to review and then send off. It's called Fixer. It helps organize all the emails that you get and organize it into different categories. So I can just go through and see which one's important, go through the draft box and see what emails it crafted responses for me for, fix them, send them off. You know, it used to take 30 minutes at least to an hour to go through all the emails that we have. Now I do it like in 10 to 15 minutes.
Nice.
It makes life a lot easier. So
All right. All right. Well, is there any advice you might give to people that are solopreneurs or have one technician or up to two that you can tell them like, hey man, like listen, if you do this, this and that, um, it can help you scale. That
just
has
do it. I mean, any advice that you've been given, just do it. There's no advice that I'm going to give that's proprietary to me. It's I've done all the stuff that people say I should do and do it. People are like, oh, I should post more. Just do it, man. Oh, I just don't like the way I look on camera. So do I. I hate the way I look on camera. I hate the way I sound. I hate the way I look. It's cringing for me to see myself on camera and on pictures. But you know what? I just do it. Um, and it's the same thing with sales. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to call them. I feel like I'm gonna bother them. Just do it, man. You're not gonna bother. They're gonna tell you if you're gonna bother them, but you don't know if you don't ask. Don't assume that you're gonna do anything. Or like you're gonna bother them or whatever. More times than not, they're not bothered. They're actually like, oh yeah, actually I've been meaning to call you, just haven't.
Right.
And they've been meaning to call you for the past year and it just happens. So again, closed mouth don't get fed. Don't worry about being
Helps.
annoying. Don't worry about um, being out there too much. Don't worry about people. And you can always spin things differently. People say, oh, you're so annoying. Like, no, I'm very passionate. I'm obsessed with making you pest free. That's why I reach out to you so much because I haven't heard from you and I want to get you on the schedule. People say, "Oh, you micromanage." No, I don't micromanage. I coach. I'm there on the sidelines at the game, coaching my technicians through it so they can be the best technician they can be, and set them up for success. Um, you know, everything, every negative
And you know
has
what,
a positive
you
connotation to it.
you are hitting something because a lot of people are like that, like, oh, I don't want to bother people, or some people encapsulate themselves as if they are not salespeople. Oh, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a field manager. So yeah, I mean, it's like me. Like, I've been meaning to start, going aggressive for sales. I just don't know what to do. Have you ever considered, like, if a company is like, hey, you know what? I wanna try the Christian model to see if it might work on my market. Like, can they reach out to you on
Yeah,
that? And then,
yeah.
if you must be a very busy guy. Like, this, yeah, but it'll
Yeah,
be
anybody can reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me everywhere. I can even post my phone number on there. If I don't respond to you, give me a minute. I'll get back to you
yeah, it's
eventually.
and again,
So I'm an open book. So
yeah, and this is tailor-made pest control,
yep.
right? I think I saw a couple times that you were talking to Pete Copain or somebody else like that.
Pete's open. Love Pete. He's a great dude.
Yeah, yeah. Have you worked with him yet? Because I think he does
Oh yeah,
consulting.
we've been working together for the past like maybe 3 years. Um, he had his own pest control company for 16 years, grew it to 4.2 million, sold it to OPC, then living the best life now. going around traveling in an RV and coaching and mentoring other pest control companies like us. Um,
What kind of
Again, like I said, I've been working with him.
what kind
Mhm.
of impact do you feel connecting connecting with him has made in your life?
A huge impact. I have a dad, obviously, but I tell people Pete's like my pest control dad. I talk to him, and when he tells me stuff, if it's something I should have done, I feel bad. Like, oh man, I disappointed my dad. But then I go to him like, hey Pete, guess what I did? He'd be so proud of me. And it's he's my pest control dad. What can I say? He's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he's been doing this for years. He worked for his dad before he started his own pest control company. And he started from the ground up. He started from nothing and grew it in 16 years to 4.2 million.
He's a
Very intentionally, 33% growth every year. Um, and I mean, he's the ups and downs, anything that we've been through as pest control owners and operators, he's probably been through already. And that's where it really helps because, it's lonely up here by ourselves. Like, oh man, I can't have anybody to talk to. And he gives you a lot of good advice. And if you listen to it, it works. If you don't listen to it, it doesn't work. There's sometimes, I Pete tells me to do something, and I'm like, I don't know about that. So then I do something else, and then it doesn't work. And then I try what Pete tells me, and it works. I'm like, well, should listen to you in the first place, Pete. I
well,
didn't.
well
And
that
but he doesn't throw it in your face. He's like, yeah, this is why I told you. He explains everything. He's really big on education and really walking you through the steps, excuse me, on how to reach the goals you want to go reach. And and then, like the first year, there's a lot of things to learn. He's telling you this, he's telling you that. After a year, he's taught you a lot of things. You guys have gone over a lot of things, but it's still good because you go through different things. And then it might have been something he told you before, but because he's listening to your situation, he's now able to kind of spin it and actually make it relatable to you. So now you might have heard it before and like it kind of like went in one ear and out the other. But now you hear it this way because you're dealing with this particular situation. You're like, oh, that clicks.
have you
Um,
have you
and
ever
so
been? I mean, uh, nowadays masterminds and yeah,
yeah.
masterminds are famous. Like you get this
Hmm.
Worm, you get the PCT millionaires, whatever, and you
Yep.
get the one with Maria Sorrentino. Have you joined or been in one of those yet?
I have not. No.
Have you thought about it?
I thought about it, and it's really expensive. So, and it's a lot of time commitment, and commitment I can't really give because of where we're at in the business. I got to get my home situated before I can really get the real benefits out of all that. I mean, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and so I
Definitely.
don't, I don't. It's not really in the cards right now for me, but eventually it probably will be because there'll be, stuff I need to hear.
Okay. And when you talk about lately, before about like it can get lonely. This
Hmm.
channel where you are right now, it is called
Yeah.
License to Kill.
Uh-huh.
So on average, you have about 15 to 20 technicians always connected
Okay.
throughout the day. So if you have any questions when it comes to like marketing, like here, like you have Crazy in here, Pete
Hmm.
Scopen, I think he's in here, like sometimes.
Okay.
So you can always just join the call, like, hey, you're driving for an hour and you wanna talk to the boys, and eventually they'll become your friends. Um,
Yeah.
and you'll see them in Pest World. Like, you haven't seen nobody, and now you have a place where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the kind of space for that. So
Cool.
you're more than invited to talk and to interact. And guess what? Here they have also entomologists, like heavy duty
Okay.
entomologists. Hey, I need to ID this. The entomologist will jump in like, hey, I'll help you. You know, either they give you the ID or they give you the path to get it. And
Okay.
it's pretty cool so far. All right, Christian.
That's awesome.
Before we wrap up, do you have anything else to say to the people that might be hearing this in the future? Because I'm gonna post this on Spotify.
Okay.
Uh, so
Um, yeah, no, I mean, keep killing it, guys. Pest control is a great industry. It's given me a lot. So thankful for it. Um, Also, the people in it are fantastic. I mean, you are a prime example of it. And I mean, there's a lot of good people out here. Like you said, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. You're not alone. Just ask. Somebody's going to answer it for you. Just keep killing it, guys. There's a lot of ways to kill a roach. Go out there, make it your
that's
own.
for sure.
Be be your person. Do it to the best of your ability. Help people, and go out and make a lot of money. So, ton of ways to do it. Ton of ways to skin a cat. But I love this industry, and I wouldn't want to be in any other industry.
Thanks for tuning into the Licensed Kill podcast. We hope you found today's episode helpful, informative, and engaging. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe to your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. It really helps us to reach more listeners like you. Have a question or a topic that you'd like us to cover in a future episode? Connect with us through our Facebook, YouTube, and most importantly, our Discord. Until next time, this is your host, Marcus, reminding you to stay sharp, stay legendary, stay connected.